and welcome to yet another one of my podcasts. Today, I want to talk about personal empowerment and how important it is in our lives. When we're children, our parents usually want us to be obedient, not empowered. And that brings us to some issues later on in life. First of all, obedience is not great for personal empowerment, to be honest with you. Now, if you have been perfectly trained by your parents to be this good girl or a good boy, it's not going to be easy to go through the life and take what you want. Rather, you will settle with whatever, is in front of you, whatever is kind of achievable, whatever you think is achievable by the standards set up by your family and later by yourself. So what does personal empowerment mean? A lot of people kind of connect personal empowerment with narcissism, with psychopaths, and I'm telling you, personal power has nothing to do with these things. Narcissists and psychopaths actually have really low self-esteem that they try to hide away then with too much aggressiveness or control. Personal power is the feeling that we have on the inside that we can do whatever we set our intention to do. Everything is achievable. Of course, that should be also reasonable. So I don't know if you think that, for example, you can go on and go to the moon and you're afraid of the heights or flying, you know what I mean. So personal power is rational feeling of being able to achieve things, being able to fight for yourself, to speak up for yourself, and that generally fuzzy feeling inside your stomach like you got this. So basically, our parents don't really like us to have that feeling when we were children because, they're the big bosses, and also a lot of our parents struggle with self-esteem. And the reason for that is because they were treated the same way you were treated when you were a child. That feeling of omnipotence is developed through some silly things early on in childhood, like in our first tree is, when we're kids and we threw stuff on the floor and mommy picks it up. And, the child is like, I made the mommy pick it up. I am all powerful. And some other things when, we're a bit older, when we make up stories about how powerful I was, the stories that kids sometimes make up, like I was so strong, I lifted up the whole train. And in their heads, that is the way to kind of achieve that power. And then if you laugh at them, if you ridicule them, see what happens. Same with a kid throwing stuff on the floor. If you make them regret it, it's not going to be the best thing ever. So basically, when we grow up, what is achievable and what is not achievable is basically a state of mind. Our mind, if we think that everything is achievable, so things are probably gonna be achievable, and if we think that nothing's within our reach because we don't have that power, we don't have that, whatever you name it, like maybe you name it luck, maybe you name it knowledge, or I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough to do this. It's all a lie, guys. So there are a lot of techniques that kind of help you out develop that self-empowerment. This podcast would be too short for me to explain them, but I am making up a course and I'm at the moment giving it to some of my clients and friends to try it out, to just see and work it out the best way possible for the future clients. I personally struggled with self-esteem and self-empowerment a lot. For a lot of you that know me or don't know me, I was a big kind of, well, I'm not going to say a psychopath, but I had that character structure where I compensated a lot of my self-esteem with being too much in control and being very dominant throughout my life, just to hide away basically that I'm really weak inside. So in order to clash that, I became the opposite. So I tried to submit, I tried to, really give myself, and that was really scary. So now I'm at the middle point finally after so many years, and I feel like I really own my shit. Like I'm really owning that personal power. Like I really feel like I can do everything I want. And of course, rational. I am not dreaming of becoming an astronaut or like going to the moon or to Mars because I'm afraid of heights. But basically, whatever I kind of think that is achievable, I still have like a lot of inner critic, a lot of voices saying, oh, you shouldn't be doing this and that because, you might not get it. But I do have that gut feeling like I own that shit. And I achieved that through a lot of different techniques, which I'm going to demonstrate in that course. It's going to be a video course, so it's not going to be like just papers, because I don't believe in that. I believe that someone needs to really show you what you need to be doing. But basically because I studied psychology and I studied yoga and I studied also meditations and some spiritual stuff, I combined it together because I think a human being is a mixture of those three things, of body, soul, and psyche. So in order to really, really get to the point where, you're fine with yourself, you kind of need to work through all these three things. So spiritually, doing meditations and affirmations, it's a really good thing, but it's not going to work without the mental part. We're going to have to digest through all the crap and trauma, and also move the body. The body has a lot to do with confidence. And if you read a couple of books, I don't have any particular to recommend at the moment, but if you read through the books about, the stature and the positions in the body and the way you kind of present yourself to the world, it has a lot to do with how you can feel. So pretty much a movement in the body can make you feel confident instantly. So also grounding as well. Grounding is so important. Mentally, I was already talking about the traumas and traumatic experiences. Not just that, it doesn't have to even be really traumatic, just the ways that our parents and the society around us told us that we can't do it, and how to fix that in our heads. Like the voices of our parents actually become our inner voices. So, that's the problem. Later on, we don't need other people to tell us that we can't, because we have our own voice in our own heads saying you can't. And then after kind of rounding that up, it is really important to have that consistency and do these things at least for a couple of months, basically, until they become natural. The Latin proverb said that the repetition is the mother of all knowledge, right? And I would agree, not just with knowledge, but with movement, with the attitude, with the mindset. So it always has to be kind of set in stone, because our bodies and our minds, they don't follow, what we want to do. They follow what they're used to. In a way, that's how our body structure is. We rely on the known, not on the unknown. So if you do a certain exercise or something once or twice, it's not really gonna have that much of an impact as it would if you do it consistently. I've been doing Wim Hof exercises, for example, for the last 8 weeks altogether, And you can really see how your body adapts. First, it's a bit shocking. The body resists. And then later, all the crap starts popping out to the body. And then like after 3-4 weeks, the body adapts. And that's the most important thing. That's what I want to achieve with all the clients that I'm working with. Their bodies adapt and that they literally don't become that person they want to become for a day, but for the entire life. Personal power, as I was saying, is so important. If you don't have that, especially if you're a woman, but also if you're a man, you get thrown around. You literally just get thrown around and people put you wherever they want. And, that's not the life you want to have. You want to have the life that's, perfect for you, that feels good. Having a life where, people throw you around and then put you whatever, it's good for them. It's not really a life that I would love to live. Recently, I was watching a couple of older movies and I've noticed the position of a woman in the society back then and the way that men weren't really, they were really egocentric and they were really narcissistic, and I don't know if they were really like that, but my gut feeling is telling me that they were. And women were so submissive, and these kind of things, this uneven share of power that's really bad on both ends has been written into our DNA. And look, that's sad. So if you're a woman and you feel like you're lacking power, you probably are. If you're a man, if you feel like you're pretending your whole life like, you're a badass, but you really feel weak inside, you probably are. And there are ways to reach that real personal power where you really feel like you can really achieve things. Okay, guys, tell me what you think about personal power. Do you value yours? Do you feel it inside you? Or you're like, maybe. If you do, please like this video if you're listening on the podcast. So leave me a comment or send me an email. And I will see you soon. Thank you very much. Bye.